In the first 7 minutes on ABC 17 News at 6, we'll give you an update on the investigation into the death of a 3-year-old boy over the weekend.
We're also looking at a ruling by a Cole County judge about potential ballot language on a petition for abortion rights.
And I'm tracking a chance for a couple of storms late tomorrow night into Wednesday morning. And after that, a warm week ahead. I'm tracking those warm temperatures into the weekend coming up.
ABC 17 News at 6 on KMIZ starts now.
We are following news of 2 car crashes north of Columbia tonight. Thank you for joining us here on ABC17news.com. I'm Lucas Geisler.
And I'm Megan Drakis. One of those crashes is located on Highway 63 at Highway 124. According to Gail Blomenkamp with the Boone County Fire Protection District, the crash involved 2 cars and 1 person was hurt. The Missouri State Highway Patrol says the northbound driving lane is back open as of just a few minutes ago. We're learning more information tonight about a crash involving 5 vehicles on Mount Zion Church Road north of Columbia. The crash closed the road at East Mount Zion Church Road and North Route B. Boone County Joint Communications said 30 minutes ago that Mount Zion Church Road has reopened. Gail Blomenkamp with the Boone County Fire Protection District says at least 3 people were hurt in that crash. He described their injuries as moderate. Columbia police are looking for a suspect charged in the death of a 3-year-old boy over the weekend.
Prosecutors have charged 28-year-old Larry Brownlee Jr. for murder in the shooting that happened at Blue Ridge and Providence Road. ABC 17's Morgan Burrish joins us live in studio after trying to find out more about this investigation today.
Morgan, law enforcement have not released much new information on how or why this happened.
Lucas, Megan, I reached out to the Columbia Police Department this morning to ask for updates on Brownlee and this investigation. I wanted to know things like if Brownlee has been arrested yet, exactly where Sunday's shooting took place, and how the shooting happened. The only new information I was given by CPD spokesperson Tony Messina is that she is not aware of any arrests being made at this time. Now, it's still unclear what Brownlee's relation was to the 3-year-old victim, but unfortunately, this is not the first time we've reported on children being victims of gun violence in mid-Missouri this year. In August, we reported a child was shot on Ballinger Lane with non-life-threatening injuries. In April, we reported a 5-year-old was shot outside of a home on Bellevue Drive, and in March, a 9-year-old girl was shot on Demerit Drive. So far this year, more than 510 children have been injured due to gun violence nationwide, and more than 220 have been killed, according to data from gunviolencearchive.org. Meanwhile, the Kaiser Family Foundation reports gun violence is the leading cause of death in children.
All right, thank you, Morgan. CPD says if you see Brownlee, you should not approach him. Instead, call CPD or at Crime Stoppers to share your information anonymously.
Today, a Cole County judge rejected some proposed ballot language on abortion rights. Judge John Beadham says phrases in the summary statement from the Secretary of State Jay Ashcroft were problematic and did not fairly describe the initiative. The ballot language had described the amendment to Missouri's Constitution to allow, quote, dangerous and unregulated abortions until live birth, end quote. The judge's ruling provides several possible examples for new ballot language. Ashcroft's office says it plans to appeal that decision.
American Airlines will temporarily offer a 3rd daily flight to Chicago from Columbia. The midday American Airlines flight will be offered October 5th through October 26th. City leaders say they hope that the 3rd flight becomes permanent. The Airport Advisory Board said during a meeting today that they should know if the change will be permanent within the next 4 to 5 months, but could know as soon as 60 days. And the city of Columbia is holding a grand opening and ribbon cutting for Fire Station 11 tomorrow. It's open to the public and starts at 11. The ceremony will include comments from local officials and a tour of the new station. The station's located at 6909 Scott Boulevard. It'll feature a training room and house a Columbia Police Department substation.
A man charged with sex crimes in July is in the Boone County Jail tonight after he was extradited from Illinois. Court documents say Illinois police arrested 23-year-old Davion Robinson on September 14th. He was booked into the Boone County Jail last night. The investigation started in June of 2022 after a woman told police Robinson sexually assaulted her. He is facing a sexual assault charge and is being held on a $25,000 bond. A Jefferson City man is accused of attacking a store attendant over the weekend. Court documents say Corey Griffin approached the business along Missouri Boulevard and started screaming at a woman to stop playing music. The victim said she felt threatened and tried to call 911. Griffin reportedly assaulted her and knocked the phone out of her hand before taking it. He's charged with assault and second-degree robbery. He is being held without bond.
Callaway County Sheriff's deputies arrested a Columbia woman over the weekend after they say she sped past a canine unit with a pound of meth. Lori Williams is facing 2 felonies and a pair of misdemeanors in the incident. The Callaway County Sheriff's Office says the canine was conducting a patrol along westbound I-70 when a car sped past while also swerving. During the traffic stop, authorities say they found more than 1.5 pounds of methamphetamine as well as pills. Police in Mexico are looking for a man who reportedly shot himself in the foot last night. Officers were called to the 900 block of Emmons Street just after 11 last night. Investigators say a 39-year-old man was in the area with a group of people when a gun he was holding went off and striking him in the leg. He then reportedly left the scene to avoid contact with police. Officers say there was no threat to anyone at the scene and no other injuries have been reported.
In your news across Missouri tonight, nurses at St. Louis University Hospital are taking part in a 24-hour strike. Today's strike goes until 7 o'clock tomorrow morning. The nurses union has been in negotiations with the hospital since May. Their concerns include pay, recruitment, retention, and preventing workplace violence. The hospital was given notice of the strike so that alternate plans could be made for patients. On the other side of the state, one person is dead after a police chase in Independence last night. Authorities say the chase began around 11 o'clock when police tried to pull over a truck without a license plate. The truck reportedly started driving the wrong way and crashed head-on with another vehicle. The driver of that other vehicle died at the scene. The driver of the truck and his passenger were taken to the hospital and are both in custody.
Spay and Neuter Project is asking for more partnerships after the group says, due to finances, it could close as early as December. During a news conference this morning, the director said the business has seen an increase in operating costs over the last year. This includes a 30% increase in operating costs and essentials. The nonprofit's executive director also said what's driving their need for support is a nationwide shortage in veterinarians and other needed positions. She tells ABC 17 that by holding the news conference, they hope to reach those who are willing to help. Got a traffic alert for you. Work started today to apply sealant to 21 streets in Columbia. Crews are out this morning in South Columbia, for example, working on streets just off Green Meadows Road. That work's happening from 7 in the morning until 5 p.m. each night. Crews are expected to be out doing this for about 2 weeks. The list of all 21 affected streets can be found on the city's website. Crews have been working to repair some damage in South Columbia caused by storms Saturday night. We confirmed today that those storms knocked down 4 power poles on Nifong near State Farm Parkway. Parts of the road have been blocked for the last 2 days. Mediacom tells us this afternoon that crews made some temporary repairs on Sunday and were back out today to make some permanent repairs. Well, Jessica, those storms, causing some problems there in South Columbia.
Yeah.
But today, as far as we know, nice weather looking out there.
It doesn't feel like the end of September, that's for sure.
Yeah.
It really does. As we get into our first weekend of October coming this weekend, it's really going to be warm. We're going to be tracking temperatures in the 80s. So outdoor plans are looking good, but still need the short sleeves. definitely not weather anytime soon. I'm tracking this pattern that looks like it's going to stick around even into next week too. So it doesn't look like we're going to see much to break that, at least until maybe the middle of next week. So we'll get used to these temperatures, very similar each day. We're starting out in the upper 50s to around 60 degrees by tomorrow morning. We get down to about 60 in Columbia and Jefferson City, down to 57 for Moberly and Paris, heading out the door with potentially some patchy fog, especially in the river valleys. Fulton looking nice tomorrow morning as we're getting up to about 77 by midday. Couple of clouds possible in the afternoon. We're going to see highs up to about 82 there. And I'm tracking a bit more cloud cover towards the end of the day. This evening, though, as you'll see on ABC 17 Storm Track Doppler radar, that low pressure off to our north, that's going to stay north of us, sending just a couple clouds in our direction. But our next system likely won't impact us at least until tomorrow night. So here's what to expect on the ABC 17 Storm Track Future Track. Clear skies for the most part tomorrow morning. The afternoon looks nice, just a couple clouds, perhaps a couple of those sprinkles up towards our northeastern counties from Vandalia towards Macon. Otherwise, we're making it to the low 80s. The evening, though, will bring a chance for some scattered showers and a few storms as a weak front moves through the area. I'm expecting anything severe to stay off to our northeast, so we are not going to see much of a threat there, but could get up to around a quarter of an inch or so of rain between late tomorrow night and Wednesday morning. We'll stop here at Wednesday at 6 a.m. Most of those storms have tracked onto the southeast by that time. We'll be left with, though, a little bit of cloud cover for the morning. The afternoon will make it up to about 80 because of that, but still looking dry for the rest of our Wednesday. Now, as we get into the rest of this week, I am tracking those continued warm temperatures and very limited rain. This is how much we'll see tomorrow night until Wednesday morning, and after that, not expecting much more for the entire 7 days, so less than a half an inch for the next week or so. Our overall pattern is not going to be changing a whole lot. So once this next system moves through between tomorrow night and Wednesday, that'll bring the front through the area. A couple more clouds on Wednesday after that rain moves out. But check this out. Upper high pressure starts to build. The jet stream gets back to our north, and we're going to be locked into that pattern for a while as we'll have low pressure to our west and a tropical low off to our east. So we're going to be stuck with those warm temperatures all the way through the weekend and likely into early next week. Here's the football forecast for Friday. Our feature game of the week on Friday evening will be at Rockbridge. We're going to be in the low 80s in Columbia for kickoff at 7 p.m. and we're staying in the 70s throughout the rest of the night. Warm temperatures if you have outdoor plans on both Saturday and Sunday. We're starting out in the low 60s in the morning. The afternoon on both days, mid 80s. So it's going to be toasty. Definitely have the sunscreen too if you're going to be out and about. Here's what to expect for the next 7 days on the ABC 17 Storm Track 7-day forecast. Beyond tomorrow night into Wednesday, we're looking dry. Our overnight temperatures will be falling into the 60s and then starting out in the 80s for the afternoon each day. We're continuing that warm trend into the middle of next week.
Sports Zone starts now.
The Kansas City Chiefs got back to their old look yesterday. After two shaky offensive performances to open up the season, KC took all of that aggression out on those poor Chicago Bears yesterday. It was a 41-10 blowout win for head coach Andy Reid and company out at Arrowhead Stadium, a game that went so well the starters ended up getting pulled late in the game. Quarterback Patrick Mahomes was 24 for 33 with 272 yards and 3 touchdowns. Travis Kelce also had himself a day, 7 receptions for 69 yards and 1 tutty as well. Not much to complain about, but hold your horses a little bit. Tackle Jawan Taylor continued to get pestered with penalties yesterday. He's been called out in pretty much every game this season so far about his stance, lining up too far off the line of scrimmage and more. Reid did pull him from yesterday's game, but not because he really believes it's an actual issue.
I mean, I just think, they've got an eye on him, and they better keep an eye on everybody else too, because it's to the point of being ridiculous. They got their point proved now out there to the world. So let's make sure we're staying consistent.
It's hard because he's playing great football and he's getting these penalties thrown on him. And I mean, I know it's hard to be to officiate, but I watch a lot of tape, and he's no deeper than any other tackle in the league. I mean, there's other guys that are even further back than he is.
Kickoff has been announced for the 23rd ranked Mizzou Tigers' much anticipated matchup against 13th ranked LSU. Warning, Tiger fans, don't think you're going to be too insanely happy with this one. Surprise, surprise, it's another 11 a.m. kick for Mizzou, despite possibly being a top 25 meeting. We did get some news from MU today, though, that this game is sold out. That's the second straight sellout at Furrow Field, the first time that's happened since 2014. Still, 11 a.m. kickoff, though, for the Tigers. Of course, the goal heading into LSU is to be 5-0, but you got to get the win this week to get there. Mizzou is scheduled for a trip to Nashville for the SEC opener against Vanderbilt on Saturday. Can't look past the Commodores, of course. The Tigers nearly lost to these guys at Faurot Field just one season ago. But if you ask Coach Eli, it was just that, one season ago.
Yeah, last year's last year. I mean, that's last year. I'll just say this: our team is they're very much committed to each other, and they've faced some adversity and fought, and they have a belief in each other, right? And last year, we faced some adversity, some really tough deals, and it, just didn't go our way, and that's life, and I think you got to have resolve and keep the faith and keep pushing forward and keep your head up, knowing that good things will happen, and I think that's what you're seeing right now.
We will be hearing from Coach Eli tomorrow, so be sure to come back for that. But for now, that is a look at sports.
Well, 11 a.m. kickoff. I'm hoping for some sunny skies in a couple weeks.
Yeah, we'll keep an eye on that.
That's 2 weeks from now.
Yeah, and Jess, it might actually feel a little bit more like football weather.
Yeah, for sure. And even maybe next weekend, we could still be holding on to perhaps some warm temperatures. I do think through next Wednesday or Thursday, it'll still be a little warmer than normal, but next weekend still a little too tough to call. But for this upcoming week, it's definitely going to be warm. We're going to see a chance for a few storms tomorrow night, especially south of I-70 after about 10 o'clock. After that, we're looking dry for the rest of the week, and we're going to be warm too, mid to upper 80s on Friday and Saturday. So dare I say, hot for the end of the week.
All right. Thank you so much, Jess.
Yeah.
Thanks for joining us on ABC17news.com.